outside of obvious labral suspicion, how often are you getting arthrograms versus plain MRIs?
So yeah, Alex Morales and I were just talking about this. I think a lot of it depends upon your comfort reading MRIs and as well as your MSK radiologists. At Penn State, our radiologists, even though we have a 3 Tesla, even though all our magnets are 3 Tesla, they insist on the arthrogram. A lot of it is because sometimes we get often very complex cases, often cases have had previous surgeries, and sometimes there's subtleties there that I think they feel much more comfortable. I certainly feel a lot more comfortable with the arthrogram myself than without. I think with very experienced eyes, you probably can read a 3 Tesla magnet the same as you can as a arthrogram, but I just don't have that experience. So in my practice and for us at Penn State, we typically get MR arthrograms.
Yeah, and I agree. I would do an arthrogram every time if I could, but unfortunately in the real world, sometimes you run into authorization issues with insurance and things like that. And I mean, in a young player, I'm looking for a labrum. I want it every time. If it's someone older, you're looking for cuff pathology or something else, then you can settle for a non-arthro MRI.
And I'm an old man, so I was doing CT arthrograms before MRIs came around. So, so for me, if I think it's rotator cuff pathology, and I think that's all it is, I just get an MRI. If I think they have labral pathology, or I don't know. I mean, there's cases where I examine the patient and I do whatever else, and I go, man, I'm just not sure what's going on. It hurts here, and this test is positive, this one's, doesn't go along with this, and those I'll get an arthrogram every time, because the one thing that I hate is when a patient has had an MRI and they say, can't really tell, MRI arthrogram would be indicated, so now we're going to do another test. And so I think that these are places where money is just basically flushed down the commode in healthcare, and we as physicians, if we can do it, have to be better at making sure we don't do that.
Same with hips also.
Absolutely.